Okay, so listen, y'all. Listen, don't be too mad. I'm here, okay? I'm back. I'm not giving up on this. We will be on time going forward. On time meaning reviews will be up on Thursday or Friday. Your girl Talisa Rae. What's up? How you doing? Ray of Sunshines. We are reviewing Married at First Sight season number 10, episodes number 2 and 3. So I feel like this works out in our favor anyway, because you know, waiting for them to come through, you know, it'd be too much. But so let's get into it. I like to go couple by couple. I didn't write them down that way, but that's what we doing. And the first couple to have gotten married were Katie and Derek. You know, little Katie, who was in love still with her ex, still feeling her ex, and Derek, the Ashton Kutcher lookalike, who seemed to be a little bit too immature to be getting married. One of y'all said in the comments on the last video, they need to start at 30 years old for that. I'm in agreement. You're ready and mature when you're in your 30s. How about that? Let me just say that. First thing I wrote was no to Katie's little two-piece dress, okay? She was in love with it, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I get the hippie kind of look or whatever, but I don't get her dress. Like, there was no pizzazz. Her hair, her look, everything was not, like, I wouldn't have been wild. Like, I wasn't wowed when I saw her. You see that Katie's concerned about her ex, and that on Derek's end, the mom just wants her to like her too. You know, his mom is a foreigner. I forgot, you know, what descent she was. Was it Peruvian? I'm not sure. But she just wants her to accept her and to like her, which is a thing. Like, you know, wives and mother-in-laws do not have the best relationships on average. We're not going to say all of them, because I'm sure some of you have great relationships with your MILs. Me? Not so much. I didn't. You know what I wrote down? I wrote down for everybody, the bridesmaids come in and sit down, and I get that they want the entire wedding to be focused on these two strangers, but because they are strangers, just for like a safety blanket, for some security, you know, allow them to stand up there with them. You know what I'm saying? So that they see somebody that looks familiar. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. You know, I just felt like they could use some comfort, and I know that they're like, the premise is so that you focus directly on the groom and her on, and him on his bride. But yeah. Now when she was waiting to come out, I was glad that she said she was ready to move forward, and you know, like, listen, it is what it is. That was in the past. He really didn't want me kind of vibe I got from her. And so I was glad to hear her say, I'm going to move forward with this new situation, and I'm hoping that it works out. And I keep looking at her dad going, that is an attractive dove, okay? Like, he is attractive. When she walks out, I felt like he wasn't impressed by her. Like, you know, whatever. It's cool or whatever. When they did their vows, I love Derek's vows. Like, I thought, okay, wait a minute. He's never been in love before, but he knows some qualities that he's looking for. You know, he said really great things like honesty and love, and how he, you know, that he wants to be open, but he's also nervous and he's excited. He actually brought me to some tears. Like, I actually had a tear, maybe because it was lady time, who knows, child. And you know, it's been a long time, so both of them I was just boo-hooing on 2 and 3, okay? I'm just gonna be honest with you. Katie's vows, you know, she pretty much said she would be honest, supportive, and careful. Is that what I wrote? I liked hers too. That's what I wrote. I also wrote that it must feel like a good warm environment because the grandmother was crying. But what that mean, honey? They could be crying because he making a mistake, because he going through this. And so they go and they have their alone time, those first few moments that they have. as to get to know one another. And I was like, oh God, is this another Amber situation? Because she is enamored by Derek, like to the point where he notices and he says, like, you can see that she's just melting into my arms and just falling into me. And I'm all like, girl, slow down. Slow down. I can't slow down. They end up finding that they have some commonality. He just started grad school. She's in grad school. And I'm all like, you know what? They're not really all the way established in their lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is going to be tough. They have to juggle working, going to school, and getting to know one another. That's a lot. That's a lot when you don't already have a foundation or have your foundation set. Granted, they both have nice jobs. He still has a roommate. Like, so he gonna just move into her place. Like, that kind of stuff. Like, do they think that through when the experts or the matchmakers prior to the experts, do they even think that through? Like, what happens after? Or are they already setting them up for failure? That's how I feel too. And then she said something like, I really want to impress him. And I thought, listen, make sure you're being she was like, I really want to impress him. Like, I really want to put my best foot forward. And all I could think was, what you need to be doing is making sure you are your authentic self. Be your authentic self so that there is no questions about later on you were somebody that you said you weren't. Let's talk about their reception really quick. At the reception, they have their first dance, and they actually looked really cute together, really comfortable together. And I was like, okay. And I also realized that every time I watch it, I'm always like, they make you uncomfortable like this for a reason. They put you in this experiment, in this bubble for a reason, but they actually held their own under the pressure with everybody watching them, you know, their dance, and they even had a little kiss. So I did like that. I actually also like that Derek is already being inclusive during the we thing. You know, when he was like, I'm going to Thailand. She's like, I always wanted to go to Thailand. It's the place I wanted to go. Would you like to go with me? We can go together. Like, he's already being inclusive, and that is a sign of, I'm ready to be in a relationship, trying to include somebody. At least that's how I see it, honey. Let me back up a second and say that this is going to be a long review because we are doing episodes 2 and 3 together. I think that that's also why I was a little apprehensive, because I was like, this shit is gonna be long. Okay, so the next couple to get married were Brandon and Taylor. Oh, I don't know about Brandon and Taylor. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm not sure about them yet. Specifically Brandon. Brandon was the only one to give his wife a card. They didn't show us, but maybe they all did. You remember, I don't know if you remember, you know, most seasons, or at least last season for sure, they showed us them getting their gifts and reading their cards from their soon-to-be husbands or wives. And so I felt like that was something, an element that they should have kept in that we needed to see. And I also like that his buddies, because that they showed, I'm stuttering. I also like that they showed us his buddies helping him out, because that's a real thing. That's a real thing. Y'all know when you writing something to somebody, you get somebody's opinion a lot of times. You get some help, especially when you're lost for words or you really don't know what to say, or is this the right thing to say? You know what I mean. Now Taylor's dress, I wasn't fond. Taylor, I was not fond of the front of Taylor's dress, but loved the back of her dress. The Miss Mary Mac buttons up and down her back with silver buttons up and down her back. Y'all know that? She asked the elephant for 15 cents. Is that a California thing too? Not even California. Is that a LA thing, like Miss Mary Mac, the little rhyme? I digress. Her mom is like, comes in, sees her in the dress for the first time, because her mom didn't go with her to the bridal shop, and she was like, it's too big. And I'm in agreement. She was like, no mom, it's so that I can dance. No, it's too big, honey. All up in the bottom area is too big. But consider this. They got these dresses 2 weeks ago. Not only did they get the dresses 2 weeks ago, do they have to return the dresses? So it might not have been any alterations made to these dresses. These dresses are not theirs. Like, my thing is, for all the couples, the few couples that have made it past the social experiment, did they get remarried? Did they go and do something a little more intimate to include their families for sure? Anybody know? Let me know down below in the comments. I love when the fellas introduce themselves to the parents. I believe Derek did it too. Brandon did it. And that to me shows that you have some type of respect for the hierarchy of family, okay? You want these people to like you want your new wife to like you, okay? When Taylor comes to down the aisle, she looks at her family and says, he looks good, right? And I mean, he's an attractive man, but what was not so attractive was those damn vows, okay? Listen, and the mama, Taylor's mama, was not approving. She was disapproving after those vows were read. She said, from the moment I saw you, dude, you just saw me. You just saw me. You should have had a better choice of words. I didn't like from the moment I saw you. I mean, granted, there are people when I meet you out in public, you know, my husband said he knew that I was his wife from the first conversation that we had. He knew that based on our conversation. But he spoke his intent. He spoke that into existence for himself. But from the moment I saw you, I was like, this is a mess up. And I don't like your vows. I'm not impressed. And honestly, neither was Taylor, because Taylor came back with her vows, honey, well thought out, very articulate, honey, showed that she is beauty and brains. I was like, come on, Taylor. So I just based up until this moment, for me, it's a no. They don't seem like they match very well. You know what I'm saying? Like, he isn't as refined as her. Not to say that that doesn't work all the time, but I can see where it may not work for her. If you understand what I'm saying. Like, he's too laid back, too, you know, homeboy for her, kinda. And he's not really homeboy, but do you understand what I'm saying? So he kissed her too soon, little awkward peck, and then when he got the go ahead, it was another little awkward peck after that. I was like, oh, this don't even seem right. So during their alone time, did y'all check that awkward silence? Like, he wasn't asking any questions. Like, were you not prepared? Like, women, we prepare ourselves. And so it was just awkward energy, which made her seem really ditzy, but she's really brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she downplayed her job. You know, oh yeah, I do research at a hospital. But that was really the crux of their conversation. Like, that awkwardness. She was feeding off his energy, and you heard her in her little confessional say, hell, I'm wondering if he even likes me. Does he like me? And he's saying there's an instant physical connection or instant chemistry. Yeah, there's chemistry because you're attracted to her because she's fine. He did open up about his brother who he lost to gang violence. I wrote down she's coy and shy, and he's super suave. They're a little awkward, but they are cute. Let's talk about their first dance. Oh my God, his dancing is horrible. Oh my God. And literally all I wrote again was, I'm not too sure about them. That's really all I wrote. So really quickly, let's talk about Jessica and Austin. And I think that they are cute together. Like, I think that they match really, really well. Their personalities, their energy matches really well. I'm still not happy with either of their driving forces to be married, which is pretty much excuse me, to meet milestones. She did say she wanted him tall, dark, and handsome with a beard. Well, she's got one out of the three. He's tall. Jesus help me, God. I didn't like he didn't introduce himself to her family, and maybe that was because he was nervous. I really felt like Austin's vows, though, were well thought out, and he was extremely witty. I got bored with Jessica's because hers was a whole little soliloquy, like she was just really giving us her one-woman stage play of I'm married now or I'm about to be married, you name the play. It just seemed long, and I kind of trailed off after a bit. So I liked that he asked her permission to kiss her. Is it okay for me to kiss you? I liked that and thought it was very endearing, and I really think that they're going to work. Because they're both kind of goofy, quirky, but they're cute together. And then in their alone time, they actually bonded. You know what I'm saying? They actually joked. They actually found themselves trying to relax and to get to know one another, especially when it came to like their sense of humor. I don't know why I wrote down Jessica's sister had me in tears. Why? I'm sure she said something very endearing to her. I don't know why. This is why you're supposed to do your review the same day as watching the show. Okay? Because you'll be looking back at your notes like, now what? Well, Meka and Michael are the fourth couple to be married, and that brings us right into episode 3, Married a Stranger. Okay, talk Meka and Michael. Now I'm gonna have to go back and go through like the other parts of the reception and stuff because that was part of this episode, but I still like to keep things, you know, couple by couple. So we'll go back to the 3 that we discussed. But right now, we're going to start with Michael and Meka, okay? Meka, girl, what is this? Crying about your dress that you didn't have to pay for. Why are you overreacting? What does that say about your... Hold on. So they go into Meka's room and she comes out and her sister and her friends are excited to see her and telling her how beautiful she is. And she's all like crying. My dress is too big. Hello, husband. I was like, it is a little big, but not enough for you to be having no issues. It's not big enough for you to be crying. And I get that you want to feel your most confident when you see him for the first time. I understand all that, but I feel like you overreacted. I feel like it took way too much for them to bring you down, to talk you down, and tell you that you looked pretty. And I really feel like this visceral response that she had shows that maybe she's not ready and that she's not in control of her emotions, that she might be a little bit impulsive. Maybe that's not the right word, but maybe a little emotional, over emotional. She may overreact to things, and that's not something that you can do when you're married. Like, you really need to process stuff. So I don't know, we got to see how this is gonna go. And Michael is getting on my nerves talking about the first to be married. You know, my grandmother would be happy because I'm the first to be married. Everything is I'm the first to be married. So that means you don't have anything to emulate. You don't know what it's, you know what I'm saying? You don't see what someone has gone through that has been married, that's been close to you. I see that he has a friend or two that might be married, but is it just the idea because you are adopted of having a family that really is your own? You know, yes, you were adopted into a family. Is that why you're so pressed to be married? I'm just asking for myself, and maybe I'm overreacting, y'all. Maybe I'm thinking way too much in it, but y'all can let me know down below in the comments for sure, for sure. I wanted to say that his sister looked really pretty. His sister was beautiful. Like, I loved her little peach dress. I loved the way she cut her natural hair, the makeup that she had. She looked really beautiful. I did take note that his adopted mom, or his mother, his aunt, you know, it was a whole lot. The one who adopted him, she passed when he was 3, so he was raised by his aunt, who is now considered Momty. Let's call her Momty. So I took note of the fact that she said that he was sensitive. Sensitive means you might overreact to some things. And then when he walked out, I feel like it took too long for him to introduce himself to his mother, to her mother, who was approving, who said she's gonna like you. Her mother is a young mother. Like, she's still popping. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's still going out and hitting the clubs, honey, and the niggas is hollering at her. And I meant what I said, how I said it, okay? So I feel like it took him too long, but I'm glad that he eventually did say, let me go introduce myself. You know, because she was welcoming and excited. Her mom is really accepting. And it's funny later on when we talk about her speech. Now, I do want to say, I wrote down, cousins are giving great advice, because Meka's cousin walked her down the aisle and Taylor's cousin walked her down the aisle, and they both are giving really good, supportive, encouraging advice and just reassuring them of how great that they are. Like, I was like, come on, cousins, look, eyes tearing up, because I like that. You need male support. Regardless of what we think, as strong as we are, we still need to know that we're making the right decision about a lot of stuff. And I You may not agree with this experiment, but I've said it before. Last season, if I was young enough, or even if they had one for the old heads, I might do it. I might do the social experiment. I mean, they think they know for me. They might. Anyway, when she walked down the aisle, he was excited to see her. And you know, he was like, I really like a natural sister. I really hope she's natural. But we know she had that long ass extension of a ponytail. He will soon be pleased to find out that his new wife is a natural sister. His vows, though, brought me to tears. I wrote that. I choose you today, and the day after, and the day after that. Y'all, I was like, come on. That moved me. Like, you choose me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are opening your mouth to say, I choose you. Though this is an experiment, I'm choosing you today, tomorrow, today, the day after that, and the day after that, etc. Y'all can't tell me that wasn't heartfelt, heart-touching, heartwarming, that you weren't moved by it. Honey, if you weren't, I'm just gonna be like, I'm just looking at you like, what's wrong with you? Who broke your heart? I didn't even write nothing down about her vows. And I've never seen the ribbon breaking thing. You know, I do understand jumping the broom. I jumped the broom after I got married. After we said our vows, I did jump the broom. You know, the whole that you know, if you don't know, I'm sure everybody knows it was from. That's how people who were enslaved, our ancestors, indicated that they were together. I've never done the ribbon breaking thing, so somebody tell me what that symbolizes. Is that supposed to equate to jumping the broom? Help me. Somebody let me know down below in the comment. Let me ask y'all, is she immature and goofy, or is she just nervous? Because I really think that he's 31 and she's 26, and he was kind of shocked to see that she was 26, and he was like, oh, okay, like, you know, he might feel that's a little too young, but 5 years isn't so bad, and most women are more mature. But in this moment, she seemed really goofy and stuff to me when they were alone up in the suite doing the toast to doing the champagne toast. I do believe that Michael is going to be able to lead her, that he has a bit of a level head and will help her along, but they're gonna have to get rid of what mom calls as sensitive, and what we see about Meka is overreaction. But I think that based on like the dance and how he was talking to her, you know, it wasn't like he was talking at her, but it was more of a we're in this together kind of support thing. I really think that's gonna work out for them. Now, I didn't write nothing else about them in their dang on reception. Okay, now if memory serves me correctly, they seemed a little awkward when they were taking the photos. I didn't talk about the other couples, but we'll talk about them in a second when I get back to them the second go round. They seemed a little awkward and like there wasn't a lot of chemistry yet in the circle. I mean, during the photos. Now, I don't know which one of her bridesmaids it was that asked if they were gonna have sex that night. Are y'all gonna have sex? Like, I thought that was so inappropriate, not only with her, but with the other couple, with the other groom as well. I felt like that was not appropriate, and it's none of your fucking business, y'all. Excuse my language. And if anyone is putting them up to that, like if the wives are saying, ask the question, shame on them. But you know how we are as friends. As people, as women, I know we talk about a lot of stuff, and we know our friends very well. So I know that my girlfriends would not say that, even though they know that I might be willing to. They wouldn't ask the question. They might say to them, I hope that you are an exceptional lover, because she has a huge appetite. But they won't be like, are you getting it tonight? They may give him some insight. I just thought that was real tacky. I do remember that, and I don't know why that's not written in my notes, okay? Let's go to the next couple, which is my favorite couple, Mindy and Zach. I really think, let's just talk about it right now, I really think that they're going to make it. I liked Mindy and Zach together. She was smitten also when he threw his hair back. Okay, so I really felt bad for Mindy that her family wasn't there except for her sister to support her. I am glad that her best friend ended up showing up, because that helped, you know, show that she did have some support system other than her sister. But Dad did text or call and say take a lot of photos because he wanted to see. Like, sometimes we have to put our own biases and beliefs to the side to support the people that we love. To me, it's very important, even if I didn't agree with something my son had done. If it was what he chose to do, I am going to support the choice that he makes, even when I don't agree. I'm going to have to trust that I raised him in a manner that he makes good sound decisions, and even when he doesn't, that I love you enough to help you get yourself together, pick yourself back up, probably after I say I told you so. I'm just kidding, or am I? Honey, Zach's mom is like, he has commitment issues, and I hope that he's really in this for real. That makes me ask the question, did they find him in the mall like they did Keith and Matt? Walking in the mall and they was with it and they needed the money. Is he one of them? Child, I was like, it's too much. Because I couldn't see why, if he wanted to be married and in a relationship, that he wouldn't. I did just shift my wig, if you noticed. Well, when she was coming down the aisle, I didn't get the initial response that he was excited, ecstatic by his wife, his future wife. However, she made it plain, he is so handsome. He's good looking, is what she said to her people, okay? And he's an attractive guy if you like, white men. Now, Mindy, their whole presentation of their vows was entirely different than everyone else's. I'm like, both of them had some kind of black back covering to make it look, more upscale. The rest of them had like little cards and pieces of paper. Why didn't they give them that as well? We know that was the producers. Maybe they have different little I don't know what the people are called, like assistants or something, to help each couple, or you know what I'm saying, to showcase each couple. And maybe this particular person has good sense and good wits about them. Nonetheless, I felt the presentation of both of their vows was really, really great. Mindy's definitely showed that she's ready for this commitment, this type of commitment, this level of commitment of being married and not just being somebody's girlfriend, boo, bae, fiance forever. That she's really ready for this. Her vows were grown, okay? They was adult, like, okay, Mindy, well thought out, well spoken. Let it be known, set the precedence right now, set the bar right now. And honey, when I tell you that Zach met her, homeboy had me in tears like Mike did, but for an entirely different reason. When he got down on his knee and asked her to marry him, I thought, come on, Zach. Come on, though, she's going to say yes already. It's important for you and for her, really. That whole act of asking is big. It's big. When my husband asked me to marry him, he asked me, will I be his forever? My mother said, I was waiting on him to get on his knee and say, so will you marry me? And he didn't. It was all, listen. He did it in front of my family, though, and his family at a tree trimming party at my little apartment at the time. We're not talking about me, though. And so my question now to you is, was that genuine or was that a gimmick? Was that just part of him, his charismatic, suave ways? Y'all let me know down below in the comments. My prayer is that it is genuine, because I feel like, especially after seeing the two of them alone, that they would work. Because they definitely have chemistry. It showed in their photos. As you see, they're really the only ones that I talk about their photos. Like, they melded or meshed together really, really well. I was like, okay, where it felt forced for other people. Well, not for Katie and Derek, but definitely it felt uncomfortable for both of the black couples, okay? I ain't got to tell y'all their names. You know the black couples. But theirs seemed the most genuine and flowed easily. So they definitely have really good chemistry. The conversation that they had, I feel like, was great. I also like that at the reception, they danced well together. She said it felt like whimsical and romantic. She felt like, you know what I'm saying? She felt like it was the real thing. Like, he made her feel good. Not only that, he was really reassuring when she shared that her parents weren't there and that they didn't agree, and he didn't want to press and felt like now wasn't the right time, but wanted her to know that he was supportive of her. You know what? I loved that. I loved it. I absolutely did. I also liked her sister's toast. You get to sleep with my best friend. You're so lucky you get to sleep with my best friend every day for the rest of your life. Like, I thought, how nice. Like, that speaks volumes about her and her character. You know what I'm saying? His reassurance spoke volumes about his. When she sat and talked with his family, that stepmom, honey, I was like, why is she sizing her up so? Is that their parent? Yes, that was his. I was like, she frowned up. Lord help me, Jesus. She don't want to be at that. She don't want to be at that table with that baby mama. That's what that looked like. And then I was really happy that Married at First Sight did not put Mindy on the spot like they did last year. can't remember who it was whose parents weren't there or whose father wasn't there. One parent or somebody wasn't there. I think for several of the couples, at least two of the couples. And they put them on the spot and still said, you know, it's time for the mother-son, father-daughter dance. And I'm glad they didn't do that to her because, I mean, being humiliated is a thing. And I hope that they took from that, took note of that from last season. I don't know. I was happy about it. We saw that Mindy and Jessica ended up meeting up in the bathroom, and they were both excited about the choices that were made for them. I was happy for them. Both of them were swooning over the choices that the experts have made. So let's go back to Katie and Derek, okay, and the rest of this reception, honey. I don't know if I talked about their first dance, but their first dance was really nice. Can't remember, even though it was just 5 minutes ago that I talked about it. I can't remember what I said, but let's say it again if I did. They seemed to gel really well. Their kiss seemed to be getting better, or was that Austin and Jessica? Not too sure. But I do know there were a few things that I did not like. Okay, her friends had gotten really drunk. And she went and sat and talked to his friends, and they were really happy with her and whatever the response was. Can't even remember it, child. Didn't write it down. But then, more importantly, her friends. I thought to myself, are you fucking kidding me? How drunk are you? Like, why would you do that? Why would you be like, are you going to give it to her? Now, you know, she was a little more vulgar. And, you know, she's a real passionate lover. And pretty much she like her box 8. Like, who says that? Who says that? That was really, like, wrong, vulgar, inappropriate. She didn't have no cool. And honestly, the two other bridesmaids, one of them was really, like, kind of, like in agreement with her, like, cause you know, I guess it was supposed to be like in jest, but the sister, honey, was like, I know you fucking lying. I know you lying. But to my surprise, Derek is way more mature than we probably, or I gave him credit for in the first episode. He handled himself very well. He handled himself well with her family. We're talking to her family. So I really think, especially with her dad, I really think her dad is attractive. But he handled himself well. He sat there and he had a conversation, you know, and was at ease. And so I'm for it. I don't know. They're going to be a little rocky, but I think that they could work. Okay, I think that they could work. But my favorite couple, we'll talk about that in a second. I think that they have promise. Oh, child, let's talk about Brandon and Taylor. Honey, Brandon. Brandon, this is why you're not married. It ain't because of the dancing. It's because there's a time and a place for things, and you don't know the right time or place. I think he might have got a little drunk too. I think that might have been part of the thing. When he grabbed that cake, the look of disdain that Taylor's mother had on her face. Because it wasn't appropriate. It wasn't appropriate. And I'm all like, Mom, Grandma, like, what were y'all doing? Y'all just let him do whatever? Like, ain't no way. Like, a little bit on her nose after you cut the cake or something would have been fine. But you done took your ratty ass and grabbed the whole cake. That's because you didn't pay for it. It didn't come out your money, so it didn't have any value. And that was the top tier, the tier that you're supposed to save for your 1-year anniversary. Come on, Brandon, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? No, really, what's wrong with you? When Taylor was talking to Brandon's family, you could see that they were happy with her as a choice for him. Like, maybe she'll bring him up some. Let me upgrade you. Right? Maybe that'll be her. Just, and not in like the way he dresses or anything, but maybe just like his social skills. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on the brother. Y'all let me know down below in the comments what y'all thought about that. I thought that was ridiculous. But I also know that the mother, honey, is, let me write, Taylor's mom is unwavering and unapologetically unhappy that she wasn't with the process, okay? She ain't with the shits, and you need to be nervous talking to me. I do got a lot of questions for you. You in the hot seat, and right now, brother man, the way your behavior is, you aren't good enough for my daughter. I read that all up. I sized that up myself. None of that was said, but that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling with her disapproving look, okay? And then you see Taylor just saying, you know, that she feels like he's fun and that he's a good match for her. And I'm all like, he's borderline reckless. He's borderline impulsive. Like, who does some of the things that he's done? And maybe it was the liquor, the blame it on the alcohol. I don't know. But hopefully, you know, this isn't who he is. Because I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for them. We talked about everybody. If I think about Austin and Jessica, I don't remember anything more memorable than their chemistry together at their reception, minus her twins' speech and also her twin saying that he was a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm feeling like I'm missing some stuff. I don't know what it is, but you'll tell me down below in the comments. Now, if you had to make your choice right now, who do you think would make it to the end? In my opinion, number one for me is Zach and Mindy. Number 2 would be Austin and Jessica. Number 3, I would say Katie and Derek. Number 4, we go with Michael and Meka. And unfortunately, right now, number 5 is Brandon and Taylor. I mean, I'm for my people and everything, but right now they are not looking good as matches. And maybe we don't have enough to make an informed decision. Let's just say that. So we're going to just keep watching. You're going to keep coming back, and we're going to keep revisiting our tops. Right? Y'all let me know down below in the comments who your favorites are and what you thought about the last 2 episodes. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Thank you so much for watching my review of Married at First Sight, season number 10, episodes number 2 and 3. Listen, if you aren't a ray of sunshine yet, I'm not sure what you're waiting on. Now is the time. Click the red subscribe button, and right next to it is the notification bell. That way you don't have to keep coming back hunting for my video. Like, when is she uploading? When is she uploading? Instead, it'll be like, boop, there she is. Lastly, for me, because you like me and I'll know it's real, give me a thumbs up. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next video.